Welcome back again. So, yes, this is our first couple weeks with this new model, and we forgot to hit the sound button, so you guys just heard us go.
I think we look really good.
I think we talked really well, but
it was great.
So yes, college football week 1 is in the books.
Yes, sir.
We had Florida State upsetting Alabama, Syracuse losing to Tennessee, Arch Manning being exposed, as most people would say.
Somewhat.
Clemson, LSU. We had a great weekend of college football. Great weekend of college football. Mike overreacting to Notre Dame losing. And Grandpa Jay, Kentucky Wildcats, 1-0, baby. Let's go.
Toledo State ain't so no.
All right, guys. First, let's go through the biggest wows of the weekend. Grandpa Jay, go for it.
All right, so I'm actually going to go with the North Dakota Fighting Hawks here. And I'm realizing that they gave Kansas State one hell of a fight at home. This came down to the wire. They came back and roared into a tied situation where Kansas State needed a touchdown to win this game with 42 seconds to go at home. Way to go, North Dakota football. We've kind of seen them be a little more relevant. I mean, there have been some great teams that have just always surprised us and wowed us in week 1. But way to go, Fighting Hawks. Way to be in the fight when nobody thought you could.
Mike?
So I wanted to shout out Tarleton State in Texas. For those that don't know, they went into West Point and gave Army everything they could handle, and more than they could handle because they upset them. And some books had it at a 14.5 Army favorite. Some had it at 28. So the fact that they were so heavily point underdogs, they end up beating Army. This is got to be their Super Bowl of the season. And, shout out to Tarleton State for putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, they beat the Army, and now they're not a school anymore.
Yeah.
I said that before, but no one heard me, so I'm not going to say this joke. But boom. You already know who my wow of the weekend is.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It is Hail to the Victors.
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood, let's get it. That $10 million paid off. That dude's got a cannon. He's got speed. He's got awareness downfield. He can read a defense. He can do it all. And he played like it here on Saturday. And he looked great against New Mexico. But we cannot compare Bryce Underwood to Arch Manning just yet. Because Arch Manning played the number 1 defense in the country. Mm-hmm. Bryce Underwood of my Michigan Wolverines played
the Lobos
of New Mexico, who is a great team, but they're not Ohio State. So when we look at the totality of the both matchups, yes, Bryce Underwood looked great. Arch Manning looks okay. But to Grandpa Jay's point after the game, it was 14-7. It was a defensive matchup. It's not like Ohio State was going out there putting up 500-600 yards of offense. They put up 203 yards.
Yep.
You should lose if you put up 203 yards.
You shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
You should not be able to win a game. But you know what? Defense wins football games. Defense wins any games at anything, and that's my notion. And I love defensive games. Give me a 3-0 matchup.
No.
Give me a 3-0 matchup in the Super Bowl with the Patriots playing the Rams. Let's get it. Come on. Let's go.
No.
Unless the Eagles are playing, then I just want that ass whooping like they did on the Chiefs. Go Birds. Let's go. Raising the banner on Thursday. Let's get it.
First one of the week, guys.
First one you heard of the week, yes.
Yeah.
First one of the week.
So, yes, we got a lot going on this weekend. We had Texas and Ohio State. I think Texas came out. They played okay. Defensively, they were great. Offensively, I think they're still figuring it out. The offensive line is new, getting pushed around a little bit by that good defensive line. The wide receivers and Arch Manning are still getting – I don't care how much repetition you have in practice. Once you get into a game, it's completely different than it is going into practice. When you're playing against your Scout 1 or Scout 2 defense, it's not the same playing against in the shoe in a hostile environment with all that noise and everything. You can generate it all you want, but you're not going to have that same feel.
You also lost arguably your 2 best guys on offense. Jump high, jump low. A lot of people gave yours a lot of crap. You lost Golden, you lost yours. You got your 2 best guys not there anymore, and you're supposed to go up against the best defense in the country and be better. I don't see how that was going to happen. So, trap game for Texas for sure here. Ohio State was waiting on them. They had some great post-game coverage showing how they disguised the defense to look like they were bringing the house. They would drop 2 guys back, so they created too many double team situations that Arch wasn't comfortable with yet. And that's where his game needs to evolve. And give the kid a freaking year to play at the high level to figure out how to read defenses and when to run and when to throw faster. And obviously he'll pick his Monday morning quarterback, pick the kid apart. But the kid needs some reps. He needs some time on the center. He needs to prove that he can do that. And as the season goes on, I think he'll be better. But Sark needs to give him some opportunities here to get some wins early on in the season so his confidence isn't so rattled over the next 2-3 games.
Well, the problem, too, is he was rolling around. He never had really time to settle in the pocket. When he did, he did make some weird throws that were like, okay, we're supposed to be number one guy in the country. Like, why are you making those throws? I just don't understand let's overreact in week 1. They don't have preseason. They don't have what the NFL has. They don't have inter-squad scrimmages versus other teams. They just have what they have throughout the year. And I'm not making excuses, right? But if it's just week 1, let's move on to week 2, week 3. Let's see how, if this is week 11, he's still doing the same thing. Okay, then. Moving on to Florida State and Alabama, the biggest upset of the weekend. The biggest win of Florida State's pretty much in the last 2 years. They have not been relevant. 2-10 last year. Came off and really just dominated.
Well, they beat LSU 3 years ago. They beat LSU.
In the opener, right? So, and this is their national championship. But you got pissed off at me because I said one game at a time. And what I meant by that, because now I'm going to defend myself on that, is one game at a time mentality comes to, yes, get hyped about this matchup. But what a lot of teams do with this type of matchup, they play up to their opponent. They say, okay, I'm going to play up. I'm going to go in. I'm going to put everything I can in Alabama. And then all of a sudden, you play Virginia, and it's a 10-10 game, down to the last 5 minutes of the game, and you're trying to scrap for a win. Now, that may happen just because that's the nature of sports.
Right.
But take it one game at a time. Take that same momentum. Take every opponent like you're playing Alabama. Yep. Because the more you do that, the better off you're going to have. I believe we're going to see Florida State 10, 11 wins potentially.
Wow.
But let's just pump the brakes. Let's see what they do against whoever they play next week and the week after that, and as they progress. And then I want to see how they perform against Clemson, who is, I think, a better team than Alabama this year.
Yes. 100%.
And arguably, Miami might be as well.
That's on their schedule, too. So there's some games on this that you have to perform. You can't just perform in week 1 and say, okay, and go 1-11 and not do anything.
No, looking down the road here now, the 3 ranked opponents are probably going to be, unless there's a huge drop-off by Miami or Clemson, Clemson, and UF to end the year. And, we don't need to talk about UF. They played a high school team, but they took care of business and shut them out and scored 55 points. And we haven't seen UF do that. That's been the falter of them. Their offense has looked very shaky against teams like UMass or teams that they should roll over in the last couple of years that they scheduled for their home opener. So kudos to them. We figure that Nigger's on the hot seat. This is it. If they are going to do anything, it is now, or else he is not going to be the coach on the sidelines. And they're taking care of game 1. So, finally, it's been a long time that Noles and Gators fans could be like, we might actually fuck each other up at the end of the year, depending on who needs to win, because It's been pretty irrelevant over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I think the game showed me also that they went and got the right guy at quarterback.
Yeah.
They knew they needed a new quarterback. They went and got Castellanos from Boston College.
Yep.
He's, I said it before, a freak athlete that can make plays happen, but I also liked seeing his leadership, his ability to lead the offense, to be able to look at Norvell and go, listen, just give me the ball. I will make sure that I find the open guys. I'll make plays happen. I'll use my legs. Everything you need me to do, I'll go do. And that just comes with being an experienced quarterback. I think he's got his guy, and I'm excited to see as that season moves forward and as they reach those probable ranked opponents, where he's at, where the team's at, and how far he can take them at quarterback.
Well, as they say, it was a punishing running attack. So you figure if it worked against Bama, and that's supposed to be the strength of that defense, we could most likely see Florida State just running it down everybody's freaking throat this year.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see coming in. We had LSU, Clemson, and what cockiness Brian Kelly has by 1-0 pregame shirts. You bit off more than you can chew 2 years ago with Florida State, making that comment that Florida State doesn't belong in the same. Tina has a shirt, because my girlfriend Tina is an alum of Florida State, and she has a shirt of Brian Kelly quoting that they don't belong on the same field or something like that. Well, he almost bit off more than he could chew this time, and I was hoping he would. But LSU Clemson was a great game. Michigan is back. Did I say that? Did I say that before?
Yeah, you might have mentioned it.
With Bryce Underwood?
Yeah,
Bryce Underwood, everyone?
Yeah.
Bryce Underwood? Okay. But yeah, so LSU coming. This is the year for Brian Kelly. He needs to do something with this LSU team.
Yeah.
You got Nussmeier back, who had 4,700 yards last year.
Yep.
You need to do something with him.
Mm-hmm.
You need to do something with this team, or you're gone.
I agree. It's 5. This is year 5. I mean, how much more time are you going to give him?
Right. What's interesting is with that talk, being that his name has come up on the hot seat so much, it's like, of course, the next logical, point of conversation is, well, if so, who replaces him?
Yeah.
Everybody, I don't even think it's that because it's LSU. They're going to find someone.
Well, no, they will find someone. It's the name that I've seen come up that's interesting to me, which is bringing back Coach O.
Wow.
Some people,
I thought Coach O was done.
So I've seen talk that Coach O might be getting the itch again, and if so, the LSU job might open up, and in which case, match made in heaven once again.
Well,
exactly.
I don't think he should have lost his job in the first place, but I mean, he just stopped. Honestly, I don't think he wanted to coach anymore.
He just didn't want to hit the floor.
Yeah, he just didn't.
He didn't like the style and where college football is going, and just like
if you're not gonna do that, you know what I didn't like on Saturday though is the fact that there was a clear cut against Florida State and Alabama. Tina, cover your ears. Little Jr. from Alabama who transferred to Florida State clearly targeted Ryan Williams.
Yeah, I saw that.
And doesn't get a call, doesn't get anything. But our linebacker, Jayshon Barham, basically just sacks the quarterback, picks the ball up, runs in a touchdown. Now he's ejected from the game and gets put out. If you're going to do card targeting in college football, you need to have that equal across all ranks. Yeah. Everything, because you go to the every targeting call is reviewed, and it goes to one central source or whatever. It's enough of this bullshit where it goes to the SEC, or goes to the Big Ten, goes to the ACC, goes to the Big 12. No, it needs to go to one central source, and it needs to be commonality through it all. That kid from Florida State should not be playing next week in the first half.
Yeah.
And that's no against Florida State, but that was a targeting call. He took the ball, clearly hit the ground, bounced twice, and he lowered his shoulder into his head.
Yep. Yeah, you have to at the beginning of the season, you have to set the tone, or else kids are going to get hurt. That's the whole name of the game here. This is why we're trying to. It's not protect. It's not that we need to protect players. It's at some point, if the integrity of the game shifts slightly towards where we are fearful at this point that if we continue to let these things go, these young men will not have a normal life into their 40s. So we're talking about mental health there that leads to proper physical health. Mm-hmm. So the old school guys, like we always say, is like, fuck that, let him play. Okay, let him play and what? All right? At some point, we draw the line and say, on that play that John just described, that is a clear dead ball. You need to teach your kids to back the hell up. Back off. It's a clear dead ball. Don't be.
I said he had a vengeance against Brian Williams.
You figured that there was some kind of personal vendetta there, right?
Something probably happened in practice back in Alabama, and he still doesn't let it go.
That's not practice. That's off the field stuff. That's some shit.
I mean,
he owes him money. He slept with his girl or something like that.
If any of y'all know, let us know.
Throw it in the DMs. Let me know. He was sliding. Ryan was sliding too many DMs at age 17. But I mean, for me, it's clear. It's clear. I didn't know we had this, but apparently each game there's a different division or different conference that is delegated to each game.
Right.
And like I think in the Michigan game it was the SEC. I'm like, what? There's not a central source. That's how I know that the NCAA is so corrupt and so messed up that we can't even get that right. There's not a central source of refs that you go back to, like in the NFL, they go to New York. In hockey, they go to Toronto. And in baseball, they go to New York. Like, they go to a centralized location that they're watching these plays and are doing this type of stuff. So I just don't understand how that's possible. Barham, he got up into the guy's head, but it wasn't vicious. He hit him. And they're like, oh, well, he took him to the ground. He was tackling him.
Yeah. Well, and then what it really comes down to is we've been cracking down on hits to the head and all that for how many years now, and we still don't know what targeting is. There's still no clear definition that is enforced about what targeting is and is not.
Well, yeah, we do.
It's also subjective. I mean, there's so many different things.
Why wasn't that called?
Lower the helmet, head below.
But that's what I'm saying.
To the helmet,
To your point, what I just said would fix that entire thing.
Correct.
There's a central station.
There's not a central station. Each conference can say, okay, yeah, we don't think that's targeting. But there is a clear-cut rule. When you lower the crown of your helmet into the guy, that is called targeting. It's clear-cut, but they waver on it and say, okay, well, that's not vicious targeting. Well, it doesn't matter. If you're going to make this a rule, just because a guy grabs a guy, oh, that's a little bit of pass interference. No, it's pass interference. We throw up our arms all the time. So there is a clear-cut rule. It's lowering the head, launching yourself with the crown of your helmet into the guy. And then if you hit the guy in the helmet, that's even worse. That's clear as cut day. Now that's what Jay Sean did for Michigan. He didn't launch himself. He just basically just wrapped him up, and when he wrapped him up high and hit him in the head. Both their helmets collided. Right. He wasn't launching himself. I forget his name. Little Junior. His last name's Little Junior. So Little Junior, he launched himself after the ball hit the ground. Mm-hmm. That's targeting. There is a clear-cut definition.
But it doesn't matter. I'm saying there's not a clear-cut definition that is enforced. Doesn't matter what the words say if there's not going to be.
But that goes back to what I said. There needs to be a central station.
There does, but that's not going to end unless they just have NCAA officials instead of conference officials, because that's what it is.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
the officiating crew of whatever conference is working the game.
I know you could keep debating on this. I know one thing that's pretty clear-cut. You weren't too happy about that Miami Notre Dame game, were you?
No, I wasn't. And it wasn't against the players or anything, because I think they played well. I didn't like that the defense didn't get real pressure on Beck until the end of the third quarter. But then that's when they started to build momentum. My issue, which people may have seen in the clip I posted after the game, where I was a bit fired up, was...
Run the ball.
Right. Run the ball. Like, they abandoned the run game when it was working.
Yeah.
They kept trying to run screen passes. Right, exactly. They kept trying to run screen passes when those weren't working, when Miami was sniffing it out every time they ran it, and yet they just kept going back to it and it wasn't working. But anytime they let Carr throw vertically, or at least across the field, or ran Price or Love, it worked. They were getting yardage. I mean, literally, I watched them get a 7 to 8 yard gain on a handoff to Love when they were trying to complete the comeback. And the next play was when Carr threw a screen pass into double coverage and got picked off.
I'll be honest with you. Your reaction acted like if no one watched that game and they watched your reaction,
blown out.
You would have thought Miami won by 275 points. And Notre Dame was playing their Rudy from 1975.
Oh, Lord.
Your reaction was so over the top. It was so funny because I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, he does know they lost by a field goal, right? I think
they shouldn't have been there.
Not much time left on the clock.
I get you
for bad time management. Not bad time management, but there's a clear rookie
I
mistake
get you.
there, right?
I get you, but it's also week one. But here's the other thing: here's where I agree with you. Why you're so hyped up as Notre Dame fans, because you don't have a lot to lose. Mm-hmm. Florida State has a lot to lose. It doesn't have. I mean, they can lose a game against Alabama. People are okay. If it's a close game like that, cool. They got time to make it up.
Right.
Notre Dame's got one more opportunity this year to make up ground, and that's against Texas A&M.
That's the next game.
And that's if Texas A&M turns out to be good, like they were last year. Will that happen?
Right.
What I see with Notre Dame is they got pretty much a rookie quarterback. They got, I think I love their team on defense. You guys play great defense. I think you guys are going to figure it out on offense. The offensive line played great. Carr was moving the ball up the field with his feet and his arm.
Right.
Screen passes. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the bubble screen, but the first 4 plays of the game, you guys. 5 yards, 10 yards, 12 yards, and 15 yards. Or I think it was 10, 12, and then 7 yards. So you guys are making positive yards with it. So, I'm always a notion, just keep hitting it with it. Keep going at it.
But then when it doesn't.
Yeah, you switch it up, obviously. But it's
which they didn't.
And they have the personnel. They had the personnel to not even worry about whether or not conservative is something that we should debate going to at this point. wherever you think you're being productive, keep running the ball to that side of the field, and then get creative with the screen pass when you see the defense committing to that side because they're trying to cheat. Then you go ahead and recognize something because maybe he's good enough to recognize that, maybe not. I feel they have to give him an opportunity to probably learn the playbook better. It looks like they were trying to really simplify it, though.
Yeah, I get that because, again, a young...
Cool. I'm sorry. Sorry, what?
Who said he was going to be good?
I don't know. I think we were begging for the
and I said it here on
on
Cinco Squad on draft night that Cooper DeJean was going to be the best draft pick ever.
Did not say that. He kept saying, "Stop saying Cooper DeJean is going to get picked."
We don't want him. We don't want that guy.
Yes, you do. We swear to God, you do.
Let's go Birds!
And now he does.
Banner night on Thursday. Don't forget 8:00 on NBC.
Yes, it's one of 2 games every year that I literally lose because it's the Eagles and Cowboys.
Yeah.
I can't root for anybody because I don't want either of them.
Well, I'll be rooting for CeeDee Lamb since I drafted him in our
true.
league, and I know you guys may have some players involved in that game too.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
We'll talk about that tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
But
Remember to tune in tomorrow night for our Fantasy Football Tuesdays as we talk about our teams, talk about did we make right picks, and also we may have a special guest on tomorrow. I'm not sure who yet, but we may have a special fantasy guest on, maybe Fonz, maybe Trey Day. Maybe Brandon. I don't know yet, but maybe Pat. But yes, we got our fantasy show here tomorrow, so make sure you guys are tuning into our socials. Again, sorry about the mic rehab. That's on me. I didn't check the mics before.
I'm Mike.
First thing you have to do is I have to watch this motherfucker because I can't leave him alone. Left him alone and look what happened. Everything's all over the place. Notre Dame's throwing screen passes. Bryce Underwood's the number 1 quarterback in the college football. I just can't believe it.
Yeah, I know, Mike. I hate this. I hate to keep coming in, but Florida football fans, way to go, as we say, way to go.
Florida football fans.
Football.
Flip-flop Florida flippy flap floppers. All Florida football fans. Way to go. Of course, FAU is not going to beat Maryland, but every relevant team with a win this week, so things are good in the state of Florida right now. There's no hurricanes headed towards us either. One hurricane destroyed the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Hopefully that's the only thing that does any damage in the state of Florida for the month of September. So, yeah, looking up and up on the Florida thing. And our local team right here, USF, really getting the job done.
We should have went to that game.
Really getting the job done.
We really should have gone.
Yeah.
We should have gone to that game. Yeah, shout out to the Bulls. They're back. That quarterback was running guys over.
Byron Brown is a beast.
Yes, that quarterback was doing things on the field like Mike Vick was back in the day. He was running around and just making things happen. Shout out to the Bulls here. And they're getting a new stadium here in, I think, 2 years.
Yep.
Yes.
So we got definitely excited about potentially going in and talking to Coach Golish at some point this season, hopefully. But overall, I think it was a great college football opening weekend. I did nothing from 10 a.m. to about freaking midnight and just watch college football. That's it.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
And then last night was another repeat, just watching college football. Let us know in the comments what you guys think are your 3 wows of last weekend. What do you guys hope for? Will Arch Manning pull it together here this coming week? Guys, one player that you can say that you were surprised about in college football, that you probably were like, dang, I didn't realize that. Is there a player that you guys can say?
That's a good question.
That's hard. And then
can it be from a negative perspective? Like, I was surprised at how he... Okay, so Maddox Madsen.
Who?
The quarterback for Boise State. He was supposed to be one of the better quarterbacks in the country this year, and at least, I know, only week 1, he can get it together, but he did not look good at all. Initially, they had him fumbling 3 times. They took one away. Good for you. He hasn't been in our college fantasy. Only 2 fumbles. So I say only 2 fumbles. But yeah, Maddox Madsen did not look anywhere close to how he was supposed to look. And he's an experienced quarterback.
You know what impressed me this week is the head coach of, and I hate to say it, the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Brian Day. He impressed me because of the way
we'll be cutting this clip for Trey. So hold on, look at the camera right now. Because
I don't want to.
So it was very good to see a guy that was. for all the scrutiny that this guy has endured over the last 5 or 6 years, to have winning records and be told your job is on the line, be 10-2, 11-1, 12-0, whatever it might be, losing to Michigan 4 straight years, just throwing that out there. Go Blue.
Of course.
He comes in, recruits like hell. I mean, obviously they got a bankroll of money coming out of their ass, just flowing to that people. But to go on, host Texas and basically say, you know what? We're going to stick it to them. We're going to go by what we have developed here at Ohio State, and we're a defensive team. And we're going to defend the shoe. We're going to defend at a very high pace. And that's that.
And by the way, we might have the best receiver in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the one thing I want to call out is how soft Ohio State is for not letting Dave Portnoy go Blue, Michigan alum. Not really, because he didn't go there, but go Blue. Dave Portnoy, Boston, you're gonna ban him from Ohio State? Really? Wouldn't you just want him there to be heckled every time? What did they do when Stone Cold Steve Austin would come out and someone would talk back to him? What? That you wouldn't want to do that to Dave Portnoy? You want to ban him because he's a Michigan fan and he's a bit okay? So when Urban Meyer comes there, I mean Urban Meyer should be banned regardless. But let's not do.
That's the point.
I think every Ohio State fan agrees about that.
Yeah.
But you're gonna ban him? So for the softest school in college football goes to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Congratulations. Welcome to the soft.
So I don't mean to pick on John Syracuse orange hair, but let's give some love to Joey Aguilar. The kid comes from Appalachian State. Before that, the Diablo Valley Vikings. 24 years old. So figure he has a lot under his belt. But what an impressive showing. Throws for almost 250, 3 tutties. He's a big mobile kid. You figure there would have been a drop-off at that position for Tennessee? Not so fast, my friends. We'll keep Lee Corso alive here for the whole year. You can count on that with us. This kid might be the real deal, and the rest of the SEC is on watch because we all thought Tennessee might kind of go that way, and they look good.
They look good. They look strong. Syracuse played well. I mean, Syracuse has just got a whole brand new offense, a whole brand new defense. I really didn't have high expectations. Even though I picked them, I'm going to pick them every game.
Of course.
But Tennessee looks strong.
Yep.
2 or 3 lines deep.
He's a great coach. I feel like we underestimate.
I think this team could be a really sneaky team where we're at the end of the season, we're looking at them like, hey, damn, Tennessee's number 5?
Yep.
Where'd that come from?
That could definitely happen.
And Tennessee might have gotten a blessing in disguise because what you might not know is Joey Aguilar actually was initially committed when he left App State to UCLA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they got traded.
Essentially, they got traded.
First ever college football
Which
traded.
Is nuts to think about. And Tennessee's like, thank goodness we got the guy.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night we have our college football fantasy week 1 results. Who will win? Grandpa Jay's got someone playing tonight in the UNC game. And I think Mike and I are done. We'll tally everything. We'll put it up We'll put it up right here. Tomorrow night is our fantasy football episode. A little shorter episode. Make sure you guys tune in. We're gonna go over week 1, who you should play, who you shouldn't play, who to look out for, and guys, you got any last thoughts before we head out?
Let's go, Billy. Throw Jake the ball a lot tonight. Just make sure you give him an opportunity to shine all night long against those Prowlers.
Well, breaking news: Billy has sat out because he can't stand all the celebrities there. All right, we'll see you guys here. We'll see you guys here tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. See ya.
Peace.